WikiLeaks previously published an archive of Hillary Clinton's emails, and its founder, Julian Assange, claims that the next batch of leaked emails they plan to release will be so damning to Hillary Clinton that the FBI will be able to recommend an indictment based on that alone. "We have upcoming leaks in relation to Hillary Clinton," he said. "We've accumulated a lot of material about Hillary Clinton. We could proceed to an indictment," Assange said. However, that in his opinion, the FBI would choose not to indict her in hopes of gaining favor with the Clinton administration. The FBI could push for concessions from the new Clinton government, he said, but there's very strong material both in the emails and in relation to the Clinton Foundation.
Welcome back. There really is nothing new about the U.S. and Russia spying on each other. Decades of Cold War-era movies and books couldn't have existed without the idea of U.S.-Soviet espionage. But what appears to be Russia's attempt to expose Democratic Party emails and sabotage Hillary Clinton's campaign would be entirely new. If proven true, it's already claimed one victim, former Democratic Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And WikiLeaks is promising there's more to come. Well, joining me now is the founder of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, who has been granted asylum at the Embassy of Ecuador in London. He is currently fighting extradition to Sweden because of rape charges, by the way, that he denies. Mr. Assange joins me now. Good morning, sir. Welcome to Meet the Press.
Good morning, Chuck. First, I'll have to, unfortunately, correct you for some sloppy journalism. I have not been charged with anything whatsoever, and I have already been previously cleared, and the UN has formally found this year that I am illegally detained in this embassy for the past 4 years.
We will correct the record and let your comments there speak for themselves. Let me start with the WikiLeaks core mission. In the service that you have wanted it to perform, to speak truth to power. Are you concerned that when if a foreign government uses your entity, that you have now seen WikiLeaks get weaponized?
Well, James Clapper on Friday, the head of U.S. intelligence, the DNI, said there's been a lot of hyperventilation in the press, and that it was impossible even to ascribe motive at this stage, let alone who it is. I'll give the exact quote. "We don't know enough to ascribe motivation regardless of who it might have been." And hyperventilation also comes from James Clapper. So that's where we're starting in terms of US intelligence. Now, I think it's extremely interesting, however, the Clinton campaign, in order to divert attention from proof that we published that the Sanders campaign was subverted within the DNC, not simply comments within the DNC, but a chain of command issuing orders to push around without attribution fake stories showing that Sanders supporters were violent, amongst numerous other matters. That has been pushed out before the public. And in response, what does the Clinton campaign do? The Clinton campaign tries to take attention away from a very serious domestic allegation about election interference and try and bring in foreign policy.
Well, the easiest way, Mr. Assange, the easiest way to clear this up.
So concerning. Right. So concerning is that even to the head of the DNI, the Clinton campaign is pulling the government, pulling the state of politics along with it to create an international conflict.
Well, let me ask you this, though. This is unusual.
But I have to come out and
understand. But the easiest way to clear this up, Mr. Assange, would you be able to say categorically that a foreign government did not hand you this material? The issue at hand here is the idea that a foreign government is using you as a go-between, is using WikiLeaks. This is no longer about accountability on public figures. This is one foreign government going after another foreign government, using you as the intermediary. That seems to be a different deal than, for instance, a whistleblower handing material over to expose government authoritarianism or something like that.
What I can say categorically is that we have published proof that the election campaign of Bernie Sanders was sabotaged in a corrupt manner by Debbie Wasserman Schultz and others within the DNC. We can say that categorically we have published proof. Now, as to anything else, we can only speculate. I do think it's an interesting question, of course, as to who our sources are, but as a source protection organization that many sources from across the world of many different types rely on to protect their identities and their right to communicate the truth to the public. And that's what we're talking about here, communicating the truth.
I totally understand that, but I got to ask you, though, when a foreign government gets involved, there is a difference there. When a foreign government gets involved, you just said yourself, well, that's an interesting question. Transparency on WikiLeaks, why not be fully transparent and say, look, here's the material. Where it comes from doesn't change the facts in the material, but it is helpful to know that if a foreign government is involved, isn't that crucial information to civilians?
I think that is an interesting question. The difficulty that WikiLeaks has, of course, is that we can't, go around speculating on who our sources are. That would be irresponsible.
Well, no, you can't speculate. You know the answer. Well, Mr. Assange, you say you can't go around speculating. Do you not know the answer?
We don't give any material away as to who our sources are. It's it's a security matter for us as to who our sources are. We have a perfect track record over 10 years.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Do you accept
completely accurate information on the one hand, and on the other hand, of never revealing our sources?
All right, let me ask you this. Do you, without revealing your source on this, do you accept information and leaked documents from foreign governments?
Well, our publishing model means that what we publish is guaranteed to be true. That's what we're concerned about. That's what our readers are concerned about. That's the right of the general public to not.
But isn't the right of the public to know the motive, to also know the motive of the leaker?
Very serious true information, which is producing great investigative journalism in the United States and is continuing to do so as each day passes by. But I think that the real question is, what is the legitimacy now, and what is the accountability of what has occurred within the Democratic campaign, where we have clear proof of sabotage? It's already seen one head resign. Our sources within the DNC say that they believe more heads are going to roll. But what about the election? What's the redress for the people that have effectively, one can argue, have had a candidate stolen from them as a result of corrupt practices within the DNC?
Are you hoping these leaks elect Donald Trump president?
It does. I mean, it's irrelevant. That's not why we publish. WikiLeaks, let's take a step back. WikiLeaks was founded 10 years ago. We have 100% track record for accuracy on the material we've published. We have published 11 million publications, including 650,000 that are about Russia, mostly critical, more than 2 million about the government of Syria, including Bashar al-Assad's personal emails. We don't have any concern as to whether Hillary is elected or Trump is elected. We're concerned that the material we publish is always accurate on the one hand, and that our sources are protected on the other.
And you are not troubled by the idea that a foreign government is handing you this information. Does that not trouble you at all if a foreign government is trying to meddle in the affairs of another foreign government?
Well, it's an interesting speculative question that's for the press and others to.
But does that not? That doesn't bother you? That is not part of the WikiLeaks.
Well, it's a meta story. If you're asking, would we accept information from U.S. intelligence that we had verified to be completely accurate, and would we publish that? And would we protect our sources in U.S. intelligence? The answer is yes, of course we.
You used to have a TV show on a media company called Russia Today, RT. It is a company that is run by the Russian government. They still promote your television show. I know you haven't done an episode in 4 years. Do you have any other financial arrangement with the Russian government beyond RT?
Well, okay. No, there's no financial arrangement. There's no one in this organization that is Russian or can even speak Russian. The TV show you're talking about, The World Tomorrow, worldtomorrow.wikileaks.org, is a wholly independently produced TV show here in London with Dartmouth Films, a well-regarded London production company. We sold licenses to 12 broadcasters and newspapers around the world, including Russia Today. And that's the extent of the cooperation. They bought a license and they aggressively promoted it. And people in the Hillary Clinton camp have tried to seize on the one broadcaster bought a license from us in 2012 to suggest that there's some kind of connection, and that is false.
Are you are you timing your leaks? I know you have there's a lot of speculation that you have more information from what was taken from the DNC. Are you timing your leaks for maximum impact on the Clinton campaign?
We're timing our leaks to make sure that A, that they're verified, that we keep a 100% track record, B, that they're formatted, indexed, and in a position where investigative journalists can use them, that the public can use them, where lawyers can use them as pristine documents, where prosecutors can use them. We have a great track record of contributing to hundreds of legal cases and prosecutions, let alone what happens in terms of political accountability. That's how we choose our timing. As soon as we're done, as soon as we're ready, as soon as we're confident in our material, and when there's a position where we know that the public is interested, that's when we release. Former supporters or current supporters of your mission are concerned that you release too much information, that you allow civilians who are not part of this, you allow too much of their private information out. There was a release of information, for instance, on Turkish citizens that was about the government, but it ended up releasing a whole bunch of personal information on millions of women in Turkey, for instance. Are you going to reconsider your protocols and redact information that would just harm civilians unfairly? I'm glad you brought up that Turkish case, because it is simply false. We did not publish any such information at any time in any manner whatsoever. It's simply a false story. It has been promoted by the Clinton campaign in order to distract from the revelation of corruption within the DNC. Okay. Mr. Assange, I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate your time and you coming on Meet the Press this morning.
Very senior people at the Democratic National Committee all resigning in the past 24 hours. We've had Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, Brad Marshall, the Chief Finance Officer of the DNC, Louis Miranda, the Comms Director, Amy Dacey, CEO. People are just falling apart. People are all being rolled over by the revelations from Julian Assange inside an embassy. But we also had to address the fact that Julian Assange was even talking to RT, because the Democrat Party, Hillary Clinton herself, are all saying forget about what the emails reveal, whether it be about ISIS-Daesh, whether it be whatever links that Hillary Clinton might prefer hidden. It's actually about the fact that Assange is basically a stooge of the Kremlin. This is what how he addressed that.
Now, this is a separate question to the release of our emails. So in the US media, there's been a deliberate conflation between DNC leaks, which is what we've been publishing, and DNC hacks of the US Democratic Party, which have occurred over the last 2 years, by their own admission, a number of times. Okay, so that's the circumstantial evidence that some Russian was involved, or someone who wanted to make it look like a Russian was involved with these other media organizations. That's not the case for the material that we release.
Would you prefer Trump to be president?
Well, I think Trump is a completely unpredictable phenomenon. You can't predict what he would do in office. You can predict a bit more what the Republican Party would do in office. From my personal perspective, well, you know, the emails we published show that Hillary Clinton is receiving constant updates about my personal situation. She has pushed for the prosecution of Wikileaks, which is still in train. So we do see her as a bit of a problem for freedom of the press more generally. And in relation to wars, the emails we revealed about her involvement in Libya and statements by Pentagon generals show that Hillary was overriding the Pentagon's reluctance to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, because they predicted that the post-war outcome would be something like what it is, which is ISIS taking over the country. It's Hillary who was the leading champion in office to do that. She has a long history of being a liberal war hawk, and we presume that she's going to proceed.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Assange, but I'm being told we're out of time.